What do you want?
Terry Hutchinson, it looked like a frustrating day for the team today. Rather than me talk through it, just you talk us through what happened out on the water.
Yeah, today was a little bit of a beep test. You know, you take steps backwards to take steps forward, and I think that was basically how the day got quantified. You know, working on systems inside the boat that aren't cooperating, and you know, these boats are, certain parts of them are incredibly complex, and so you have to just have the patience and time to work through it. And you know, that's, you know, we basically had the patience and had the time, and weren't getting to where we needed to, and so we came back towards the took the sails down, came back towards the harbor, went into a bit of a holding pattern to see if we're going to be able to get the issue resolved on the water, and could not. So here we are.
When you tried to take off, it was a little bit messy. It looked a bit uncomfortable for the guys on board.
Yeah.
Did they know immediately then there was a problem? And
yeah, I mean, they're working on sequencing inside the systems in the boat, and things weren't, you know, they're not perfectly calibrated. And you know, one of these boats not perfectly calibrated is very difficult to sail. And I think, as you rightfully point out, you know, first time they took off, it wasn't working, so they had to stop and problem solve step by step, which is, you know, frustrating for the operation, but you know, always critical for development and for the progress going forward. But in the moment, it definitely is frustrating.
When we spoke to Goody yesterday, he said that Patriot's very different down below.
Yeah.
Lots of changes, lots
Yeah.
of new technology. I know
Yeah.
you can't tell me in any sort of detail, but
Yeah.
in general terms, what is different?
Well, we're at the phase of the program where we're developing for Boat 3. And so, you know, I think as you contemplate strategically, what we're trying to do is we're trying to set ourselves up when Boat 3 arrives, and circumvent the time component that goes into that. So this block of time is always set aside for that. And I think, as Goody rightfully pointed out, you know, there's systems inside the boat that are different, and you know, that component, you know, even though the boat's 2 years old or 2.5 years old, we're debugging a lot of new gear inside. So you just have to take the good with the bad.
It must feel frustrating, but you also must be thinking, once we get this right, then it's right.
Well, yes. In short strokes, yes.
Okay, Terry, what can you tell us? I'm sure you've been out to see the build of Boat 3.
Yeah.
Out in the States. What can you tell us about the progress there?
Well, the first thing that you'd say is, and your timing of your question's a good one, because I was there last week. Nothing but huge compliments and kudos to our team in Portsmouth, Rhode Island. You know, I know they're literally on an island right now, on Aquidneck Island, but they feel a little bit out there occasionally. And you know, it's such a critical part of our program and of our team to go and see really the quality of the work that's being done. You know, these boats are, in some ways, when you look at them and you look at the frames in them and you look at how the boat is, it's very simple, but in the same breath, it's not. You know, it's a very complex piece of machinery, so to speak, and to see the quality and the enthusiasm of the team doing that, it's really, yeah, it brings new meaning to everything that we're doing here. And it was so cool, you know, to catch up with that side of our team. You know, they're all watching the racing, and they're watching everything we do with bated breath, and they kind of fly under the radar. And so it was exciting, and it was really good to be there with them.
Sounds like everything is locked in now for the build of the boats. What about the foils? How far are you from pushing the button on the foils?
Yeah, we still got a little bit more time. You know, we got a little bit more time before we get into that part of the program. And you know, always a challenge with these regattas is like, how aggressive do you want to be? How far do you want to push the design into the manufacturing side? Where's the cutoff there? And so we have a little bit more time, but you know, you're certainly coming up against it as well.
That's great, Terry. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you. Good to see you.
You too.